All right. Test. And we're back for our next segment of Convincing Idiots. Not only am I back this week, but I'm back for a second segment, okay? After some very, very tumultuous contract negotiations, I've been convinced to come back for yet another segment. Mm-hmm. So we are back here. I am Millennial Nick, along with my friends Zennial Dean and Gen X Brian.
I hear he doesn't have to eat the onions. That's his new contract.
Oh, Nick,
it's a bunch of bullshit.
That? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So anyway, I am going to... One of the things that I have missed dearly since I've been off, I feel like I've been really out of the loop, not only with you guys, but I feel like in the world, like my main source of news and my personal newspaper is one Brian Fishernet Fisher. I don't know
Fishernet
what's been going on. So Brian, I would like, my Fishernet Stockings boy, I would like to know what's been going on in the world of pop culture. Do you have anything that you can tell us, Brian, to keep us in the here and now?
Yeah, there's a couple things that caught my eyes. I hate to talk about more losses out there in the world of pop culture, but there were a couple that fairly significant I want to mention here quickly. So this past Sunday, now you don't know his name probably, Monty Norman passed away, age 94. Yep. He was a composer, and he composed one of the most iconic movie themes of all time, arguably. Nope.
Jump from a tall
That's
building,
John Williams.
Hanging from a vine. No,
not that
one. Terminator guy.
I was hoping you just went on forever with that.
Do the rest of the episode quietly in the background. No, but he composed the James Bond theme from all the way back in 1962. That was like
I'm James Bond and I'm in a fast car and I can drink whiskey and no, not whiskey.
Whiskeys and bitches
Martini.
and guns and suits. Whiskeys and bitches and guns and suits.
I like it. That's maybe you can make the new millennial James Bond theme.
Avocado toast and phones and computers.
Look at my mustache, I'm rolling in a craft beer.
Frappuccinos and IPAs.
No, but if you're a not even a huge James Bond, if you hear the theme, you probably know what movie that's from, right? So just like I said, of all the iconic movie themes, definitely one of the most, in my opinion. So rest in peace, Monty Norman. And
Monty,
we talked
hardly
about this.
even knew you.
That's right. We talked about this off camera a little bit. The three of us were not really anime fans per se. If we had some of the, Mr. Lane, your son Nick may definitely get. I'm sure he'll be angry if we talked about this, and here we did. But the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, Takahashi Kazuki, this past Wednesday died of what seemed to be an unfortunate accident. He was 60 years old. It appeared that he was by himself off the shores of Japan snorkeling, and something happened. They found him literally dead in the water. So Yu-Gi-Oh became a very popular animated series. They made a movie out of it. So again, not a fan personally. I know you guys not necessarily either, but it was definitely a huge success.
I got some of the report there.
Hey, does Blake Insurance Agency offer Godzilla insurance?
No, not life insurance, actually, because that's why I messed up the read earlier.
Well, not life insurance, Godzilla attack insurance.
They might.
Because we don't know
that's
not
what
what happened.
You might want to call him.
You said it was off the shores of Japan.
That's true.
That's right. Don't know what happened. He had snorkeling gear on,
Right.
but doesn't necessarily mean he died from that. You
But
never
it
know.
says here,
You never know.
it says here that his power up was fire. Unfortunately, water could hurt him. So
Shit.
that stinks.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so rest in peace, Mr. Kazuki. And then also,
Just to reiterate, we're not making fun of people dying. We like to make light of a bad situation.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Obviously it is a sad thing, but
one of the more iconic actors of our time, James Kahn, passed away, 82 years of age, on the evening of July the 6th, so last week. Obviously known for some huge roles in The Godfather, Misery, and a lot of people know him. Younger people certainly, they probably have no idea he was in The Godfather, but they would know that he is the dad in Elf, the Christmas movie with Will.
Oh, okay,
Will Ferrell.
That's James Kahn. Okay,
that's James Kahn. Absolutely.
You guys sent the text message, and I'm like, definitely know the name.
Yep.
But didn't, you know what I mean? So yeah, okay. Now I know.
Are you serious?
So you've not seen Misery?
Yeah.
You've never seen Misery?
Bits and pieces, but no, not all the way through.
This dude was from...
That's the one with Kathy Bates, right? Kathy Bates, Misery, yeah.
Kathy Bates won an Oscar for that movie. It is arguably the best Stephen King adaptation. It's definitely one of the very, very best.
Yes.
Okay, and it's not like it's gore or nothing. It puts you in that room with James Kahn, and you feel it really is. So both of their performances, virtually the whole movie is those two. There's different scenes of some other characters, but virtually it's those two.
It's like a 2-act play or a 2-person play.
It really is.
Gotcha.
Go watch that movie at some point if you want to have a super terrific suspense.
Even
movie.
as a writer kept up in bed like he was in Misery, he was still a badass. You know what I mean? James Kahn. I mean, look at some of the people. I mean, he was alongside Marlon Brando in The Godfather, John Wayne in El Dorado.
Oh yeah, that's right.
All the way to Bob Newhart in Elf. I mean, this guy has done the wide range that he was able to do, and it's kind of like you could probably do 7 Degrees of James Kahn, same as you do 7 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. And with the so many different roles and so many different people, the entourage casts that he did. I mean, the dude was just fantastic.
Yeah. So, he is now in my Christmas holiday road to every year. I watch Elf every single year, and every year I love him in that role. I didn't really care for Elf at first, but he definitely took that movie to an entirely different level with his performance. Right? So much I even have to do the hand motion like that. I have to take it to another level, whatever that means. But so rest in peace, Mr. Kahn. And it's making the news now here, guys. So Twitter is suing Elon Musk. So first of all, as you might know, Elon Musk did a hostile takeover, made a hostile takeover bid of Twitter for like $50-some billion. I want to say at least 40-something billion dollars at least, which it was like $50-some a share, which was an aggressive price per share. And he wanted to, change some of the practices and the rules and all these things. And now he wishes to back out of the deal. At least that's what he's saying. Could be a negotiation ploy. He wants to back out of the deal. And so Twitter is now suing him to keep the offer because their stock prices are down, in part because their advertising is down. So my understanding is, I listened to a podcast today on this, the New York Times Daily podcast. So my understanding at a high level is not as many advertisers want to advertise on Twitter for many reasons, in part because there's a lot of bad news out there, and they're not necessarily interested that you have tweets about like the war in Ukraine and January 6th and all this bad news, basically. And then their ad is popping in there, so it's not as appealing, right? So And then Elon Musk's take is, well, I never liked from the beginning that you have a lot of bot accounts. So I want to get in here and wipe out all these bot accounts because it is inflating the subscribers, not the subscribers, but the users, if you will, is inflating numbers of not live people. So if I want to try to sell advertising on this platform, your numbers are off because there's too many bot accounts that you're counting in your total numbers that have
as
nothing
users,
to do as users, right, and they're not going to buy any product obviously because they're bot accounts. So again, it could be a negotiation ploy. He may wind up having to pay a penalty and walk away. He may certainly renegotiate a lower price, or he may wind up being forced to buy it. But they're saying that would be probably a very difficult task because he's Elon Musk, and he's already a smart man. He could probably afford the greatest of the greatest of legal team that there is in existence, probably, if he felt like it. So I read a
meme that was kind of made a point. The reason he backs out is because they wouldn't share the info on how many or whatever bots. Right.
He wants to know what he's getting into.
So
right.
If Twitter sues him, they go to court. They're going to have to do what?
They have to tell you. They have to tell what the numbers
exactly
are.
What he was trying to find out before he.
And they don't want to do that.
So sweet irony.
Yeah. So we'll see. So do you guys even care about this? Do you care if he buys it or doesn't buy it? And do you think if he does buy it, is he still going to change stuff around? Do you have any thoughts on this? Do you really care whatsoever?
I have slight concerns. I mean, honestly, for me, and I think a lot of social media platforms, it is. I mean, there are bots and there are fake users and hackers and things on all these platforms. But a lot of these things are, especially with Twitter, it's a choose your own adventure. It's who you follow, right? So mine is basically sports news and updates because the people that I follow all have to do with hockey and basketball, and it's basically different sports personalities and things like that. Some others, obviously, but the majority of it is, when some news breaks and I want to see if it's legit, I go to Twitter to see sports related, if it's, if anybody's tweeted about it or whatever.
Right.
So I definitely have concerns about different people that, and that's all based on your bias. I know that he wants to have more freedom of speech on Twitter. That was his whole platform when he bought it, that he wanted to, and I'm like, well, when I hear that, it hits my ears as going, well, who have they censored on Twitter? Donald Trump. Well, who's dangerously insane? Donald Trump. So when I hear that stuff, I think I'm concerned that,
he's going to turn it back into the Wild West.
It's all your bias, right? It's all I'm obviously, if you couldn't guess by ever listening to us before, I'm not a fan of Donald Trump. It has nothing to do with political parties. I just think he's insane and a petulant child, and I don't really like him. But so the person that everyone knows that has been silenced by Twitter, when people say we need to take barriers off people, we need more freedom of speech, I'm thinking that's where my brain's going, right? So, and I don't necessarily care to hear people like that give it a platform.
Yeah.
Because it spreads craziness, as we've seen. So I don't really know. I mean, I definitely am all for people having their opinions, and I think if you can have a civil exchange of opinions and information, that is, I mean, we're in a weird time where it's like someone needs to monitor what information is getting out because people are so susceptible to distruths, but at the same time, now you get into, well, who determines what is the truth and what is not? It's a lot. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole.
But the truth is the truth.
I'm a little sure.
I hate that
but
term
everybody. I guess
of who determines
we're in a time.
Facts are truth.
Right. But we're in a time where people can meet you with this and that and go, well, that's my thing, truth. And what you say is truth.
I have a big dick. Doesn't mean it's actually true, but it's my truth.
Well, where did you get that information?
Brian told me.
What source? Right, but
he's the stat man.
I don't listen. I don't listen to Brian Dick News. I listen to Nick Dick News, and Nick Dick News says it's tiny, minuscule.
Well, I don't know if we needed to go that far with this.
Well,
A micro penis, in fact. Who are you listening to?
This is
right. Megan subscribes to that channel as well, I think.
right.
If I'm not mistaken.
She gets her news from the Nick News as
And
well.
she just sits there and just
Yes.
shakes her head yes violently.
Yes.
Yeah.
But there are concerns because anytime, I mean, any of these things, right? You're swimming at your own risk. Whoever makes the decisions at these platforms, whether they do it out of their own personal bias or out of political or societal pressures, they're making decisions on what is and is not proper. So with Elon Musk, I don't know. I don't know what his goal is. I don't know if it's a ploy to gain more, to acquire
I thought he was just
things or power, or if he's going to run for president, or if it's a ploy for that. I don't know. I don't know. It's ultimately, what can we do? Nothing. We're either going to be on Twitter or we're not, and whoever owns it's going to own it, and that is what it is. But yeah, I don't know. It's all very weird to me.
Yeah, it seemed to shift. It's certainly when you hear stuff like this, it definitely seemed to shift from I am trying to just I don't really care about the money per se in so much as I want to create this platform for people for free speech. And all of a sudden it's like someone's like, hey Elon, this is not looking like it's going to make as much money here with all these buttons. He's like, yeah, maybe I kind of overbid for something that may not make me
he woke up
a profit or much money.
He woke up next to the ugly chick.
Maybe
drunk one night, goes home at the bar. Like, oh, fuck. He has that ugly chick regret.
Yeah.
Now
I heard something.
Nick.
You've been stuck with me ever since.
Mm-hmm. I ain't mad at it.
Now, I heard something a few years ago that Twitter is not really very profitable. As far as capital brought in, that Twitter. Now, I don't know how that works. I don't know how something can be as colossal as Twitter is, and everybody's on it, and everybody uses
throughout its stock because it's public.
Maybe that must be it, because it's something about.
No, I'm saying in general.
Maybe
he was talking about in general.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just heard I can't remember what podcast. I was on a podcast, and it was a news podcast, but they were saying that Twitter basically doesn't make any profit, hasn't made a profit, and at this time it was like 9 years running or whatever. Since its existence, it hadn't ever turned a profit in a fiscal year, and I don't know if that has
think about
to do
the model.
Right.
For the most part, you can log in there for free.
Yep.
And you can just start using it. So the only way you're going to make money is from advertisements.
Correct.
Sure.
Right. And then you also have now the Twitter Blue or something like that, where basically you can get you pay. And I think part of the reason you pay is to avoid the, ads in your feed, and you can. I don't know all the features to it,
Patreon.
But that's. I mean, sort of. You think about it. It's like that's how all these platforms make money. It's just you get enough viewers, and then you can get you run ads, and that's just kind of about where it is.
Well,
So
I mean, to me, let me tell you, I don't trust trees. They seem shady.
All right. Was that your calendar dad joke of the day?
That was
no, actually, that my point. I am I'm on Twitter, and I'm in part of a private message room. Right, there's like 26 of us, all throughout the country.
You are part of the Twitter Illuminati.
Yes.
It's like the Twitter people.
But it's just a bunch of ass clowns from around the country, or actually around the world, that we just throughout the day you just talk and chat and tell jokes and stuff. And that was from Kat at OLKORRECTO. I don't know how to pronounce that, but that was her tweet, right? And that was my point. That's what I use Twitter for, is jokes. I mean, I like to look at boobs when they're there.
And you haven't gotten any better at them.
Well,
damn.
Or reasonable facsimile.
First of all, Kat wrote a fantastic tweet. I thought that was very funny because I'm a fan of dad jokes. But no, my point is I don't go there for political news. I mean, yes, like Nick said, if something big happens, yeah, I'll go over to Twitter and not even go in the general section. I'll go into the news section to see what's real, what's happening and stuff. I think that a lot of people do that. I mean, there's a small section of people that really buy in, that like Nick said, where Trump got in trouble. But I think that's a very small part of that community. I think the majority of people are on there for specific things. Some are on there for fetishes, sexual fetishes. Some are on there a lot of people are on there for just jokes. Some are people on there for sports, like Nick said. Brian, what are you on there for?
Promoting this podcast.
That's honestly, that's almost about it. I don't go looking for stuff on Twitter, to be honest with you, because it's such a rabbit hole. Any of those, TikTok, Twitter, it's so
wanting to know.
It's so easy to get sucked into all kinds of different content. Like I did get pulled into some of the comments on Thor: Love and Thunder, because it is interesting. Okay. That type of stuff is kind of interesting when there's a hot topic out there, and you definitely get different types of perspectives, But I don't necessarily
that's where you get your that's where you get your child medium T-shirts, right?
That's right. That's
hot topic.
Yes.
Okay.
There are a couple I like. I mentioned before, like Super 70s Sports. I mean, that guy's got it's just constant retro pictures and jokes and stuff like that. That type of stuff I find funny. Sure. But yeah, I'm just not on there a whole bunch.
Yeah, like I don't get the people that are on there for like strong political views and
like who gives a fuck about your opinion?
Right.
It's like who I mean, maybe sometimes you catch one that I guess maybe that's part of the whole appeal to it.
Let's say appeal to social media in general.
Yeah, well, I would say that's the entire reason I don't really get on Facebook anymore. It's been probably, I don't know how long, but I rarely put anything on Facebook or even look at Facebook because that's all it is. Every time I'm on it, it's everybody all the time.
But also, gentlemen, you also got to realize that that's what we're doing here. Like, who the fuck gives a shit about our opinions of pop culture nerddom? You know what I mean? It's for entertainment. To each his own, like everybody says.
Right. And that's evident in our ratings, I would say, probably.
But yeah, whether it be Twitter or Facebook or Instagram, everybody has their reasoning for being on it.
Sure.
Mm-hmm. And I think that Elon Musk is one of those people that probably gets bored and just trolls people, and it got out of hand. And he's like, you know what? I got like all the money, so I'm gonna buy it. And then that kind of rolled downhill and caught steam, and he's like, well, I kind of gotta keep going with this. Roll downhill, and you're like, oh fuck, I actually have to do it. No, I was joking. I'm out. You know what I mean? Like, I think it just got out of hand. I don't think he actually had an intention of buying it for whatever reason he originally said. I think it was a bored troll that got out of hand.
Very possible. Well, we'll see what happens.
Like
yep.
But not
all right. Well, before we take a break and go to our main topic here, now, Dean, you want to mention real quick? Now, you made a new connection. Another podcast picked up our feed. You want to mention them at all? Or?
Yeah.
He either doesn't or he forgot the name.
I forgot the name. It's on the phone, and my phone is recording. So
it's the Crushed Monocle or something.
Yes,
Crushed Monocle.
Crushed Monocle podcast.
Crushed Monocle podcast.
Actually, I listened to their stuff today, and the two guys are funny. They're good. So give them a listen. I think they're on their 12th episode, and I think they have Chicago,
Illinois. Is that what I saw?
I believe so. And I think one of the episodes they have like one of the guys from Velvet Revolver in an interview. So yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah, for being 12 episodes, I mean, good on them.
That's a good start. Oh yeah, well, Aaron Blake Insurance Agency sponsors our show, so
We win.
it's like whatever. Yeah,
That's right. That's right.
he plays the guitar too.
That's right. We got Blake Insurance, and we also have, guys,
Mhm.
an up and coming business in the Barberton area, the Bell Mark Amazon store.
Mhm.
Go check out their products, quality, handcrafted wood products on the Amazon store. Go check them out. So they specialize in countertop compost bins, 2 different sizes, floating nightstands. Dean, you could hang by your bed.
Sure can.
And you got a lot of extra shelf space there in your room. If maybe you have a smaller bedroom as well, you need some. You don't want to have a whole nightstand there, but you want to have some space there for your phone and whatnot.
Your tissues and your lotions.
Sometimes,
absolutely.
sometimes those legs
Absolutely.
get in the way of my naughty boy box that I got to hide under there.
That's right. That's right. That's right. And a wall mounted liquor cabinet, which I have one in my dining room, looks terrific. So it holds like 4 bottles and glasses, and looks terrific. And it flips down. You have a nice shelf space there to actually mix drinks on. So go check out the Bell Mark Amazon
That
store.
Mark Koontz, he looks terrific as well.
Sure does. That's right. Bell Mark BELLEMARK Amazon store, and we thank them for their sponsorship as well.
I missed him at the beer tasting party this year. He's usually there. He was not there this year.
They were celebrating their anniversary. Bellmark was. So
Oh, okay.
they were.
Well, that's.
They were on
I guess.
assignment.
I guess it's. We'll honor it. It's a legitimate excuse, I suppose.
Poor excuse.
He owes you a beer for it. I think
I would say so.
Part of the sponsorship is
He owes it. Fuck that. He owes me a floating liquor cabinet.
That's right. That's
For
great.
standing me up at the beer tasting party.
You wept for hours.
Mm-hmm.
Part of their sponsorship and the contract with us is they do not have to actually. They don't have to. They have no longer have to pretend that they're actually friends with.
That was it. That was in the contract.
Here. Okay.
That's right. It was a long workup, many years of effort.
Lawyers involved.
I hereby state I am no longer legally obligated to pretend.
That's right. Takes the pressure off.
Be friends with them. Yeah.
Takes the pressure off. That's right. All right. So guys, we're gonna take another break.
Good. I'm empty.
I want to come back and talk about movie reboots, movie remakes, good ones, bad ones, some that maybe you want to see. Maybe some that you think they should never touch and never consider trying to reboot or remake.
Like the time you tried to reboot this podcast without me.
That's right.
Don't even fucking try.
That's Pointless. Right. It was me, Dean, and the gold head. the golden Dean head. Yep. Wasn't as entertaining.
Or as good a kisser. We tried.
No, it wasn't. Or other things that we won't talk about live. We'll talk about more off camera. So... Yep.
You never have to wish that this mouth was open.
It's like that sign behind Brian is. It's like just a neon one on his forehead.
Yeah.
On air, open for business.
Make sure to come back for segment 3.
Be right back.
Hi. This is Millennial Nick, along with Gen X Brian and Zennial Dean. Hey, if you liked that video, which we really hope you did, you should like and subscribe. That would be great.